Okay, hi guys. Whoops, you close this. Um, so today I'm gonna read more Life of Pi. Um, Hold on, let me go on Twitter first. Sorry, I'm currently finishing up my dinner, but I'm gonna kick things off now. So, yeah. Okay, I'll just say that I'm streaming now. I'll just quote my own tweet. Streaming now. Okay, so I don't know if anyone's watching, but we're gonna go ahead and go to down to chapter 15 because I was done with 14. I don't know where that is. Okay, chapter 15. His house is a temple. In the entrance hall hangs a framed picture of Ganesha, he of the elephant head. He sits facing out, rosy-colored, pot-bellied, crowned and smiling, three heads, holding various objects. The fourth held palm out in blessing and in greeting. He is the Lord overcomer of obstacles, the God of good luck, the God of wisdom, the patron of learning. Oh, the patron of learning, I guess. Okay. Simpatico is the highest. He brings a smile to my lips. At his feet is an attentive rat. His vehicle, because when Lord Ganesha travels, he travels atop a rat. On the wall opposite the picture is a plain wooden cross. In the living room, on a table next to the sofa, there's a small framed picture of the Virgin Mary of Guadalupe, flowers tumbling from her open mantle. Next to it is a framed photo of the back-robed Kaaba, holiest sanctum of Islam, surrounded by a 10,000-fold swirl of the faithful. On the television set is a brass statue of Shiva, as Nataraja, the cosmic lord of the dance, who controls the motion of the universe and the flow of time. He dances on the demon of ignorance, his forearms held out in choreographic gesture, one foot on the demon's back, the other lifted in the air. When Nataraja brings this foot down, they say time will stop. There is a shrine in the kitchen. It is set in a cupboard whose door he has replaced with a fretwork arc. The arc party hides the yellow light bulb that is the evening's light. Oh shoot! Arc party hides the yellow light bulb that in the evenings lights up the shrine. Two pictures rest behind a small altar to the side. Ganesha again, and in the center, in a larger frame, smiling and blue-skinned Krishna playing the flute. Both have smears of red and yellow powder on the glass over their foreheads. In a copper dish on the altar are three silver murtis representations. He identifies them for me with a pointed finger. Lakshmi, Shakti, the mother goddess in the form of Parvati, and Krishna this time is a playful baby crawling on all fours. And between the goddess of a stone, Shiva Yoni Linga, which looks like half of an avocado with a phallic stump rising from. Oh, I lost my place. Ha ha ha. Rising from its center, a Hindu symbol representing the male and female energies of the universe. To one side of the dish is a small conch shell set on a pedestal. To the other, a small silver handbell. Grains of rice lie about, as well as a flower just beginning to wilt. Many of these items are adjointed with dabs of yellow and red. On the shelf are various articles of devotion: a beaker full of water, a copper spoon, a lamp with a wick coiled in soil, sticks of incense, and small bowls of red powder, yellow powder, grains of rice, and lumps of sugar. There is another Virgin Mary in the dining room. Upstairs in his office there is a brass Ganesha sitting cross-legged next to the computer, a wooden Christ on the cross from Brazil on a wall, and a green prayer rug in a corner. The Christ is expressive, he suffers. The prayer rug lies in his own clear space. Next to it, on a low book stand, is a book covered by a cloth. At the center of the cloth is a single Arabic word, intricately woven, 4 letters, an aleph, 2 lambs, and a ha, the word God in Arabic. The book on the bedside table is a Bible. Okay, chapter 16. I'm going to eat some of my dinner. So, this will be my break. After each chapter, there will be a break. So, how are you guys doing? I'm not sure who's watching me right now. Can you hear me chew my potatoes? Okay, how long is this chapter? It's very long. Okay. Oh no, it stops right here at the bottom of page 28. Okay. Let's take another bite. We are all born like Catholics. Aren't we in limbo without religion until some figure introduces us to God? Oh wait, can you guys hear me? Oops. Okay. We are all born like Catholics. Aren't we in limbo without religion until some figure introduces us to God? After that meeting, the matter ends for most of us. If there is a change, it is usually for the lesser rather than the greater. Many people seem to lose God along life's way. That was not my case. The figure in question for me was an older sister of mother's, but more traditional mind, who brought me to a temple when I was a small baby. Auntie Rohini was delighted to meet her newborn nephew, and she would include Mother Goddess in the delight. It will be his symbolic first outing, she said. It's a samskara. Symbolic indeed. We were in Madurai. I was the fresh veteran of a 7-hour train journey. No matter, off we went on his Hindu rite of passage, mother carrying me, auntie propelling her. I have no conscious memory of the first go-around in a temple, but some smell of incense, some play of light and shadow, some flame, some burst of color, something of the sultriness and mystery of the place must have stayed with me, a germ of religious exaltation, no bigger than a mustard seed, but sown in me and left to germinate. It has never stopped growing since that day. I am Hindu because of sculpted cones of red kumkum powder and baskets of yellow turmeric nuggets, because of garlands of flowers and pieces of broken coconut, because of the clanging of bells to announce one's arrival to God, because of the whine of the reedy Nadaswaram and the beating of drums, because of the patter of bare feet against stone floors, down dark corridors pierced by shafts of sunlight, because of the fragrance of incense, because of flames of Arati lamps circling in the darkness, because of bhajans being sweetly sung, because of elephants standing around to bless, because of colorful murals telling colorful stories, because of foreheads crying, variously signified the same word faith. I became loyal to these sense impressions even before I knew what they meant or what they were for. It is my heart that it is, it is my heart that commands me so. I feel at home in a Hindu temple. I'm aware of presence, not personal the way we usually feel presence, but something larger. My heart still skips a beat when I catch a sight of the murti of God residing in the inner sanctum of a temple. Truly, I am in a sacred cosmic womb, a place where everything is born, and it is my sweet luck to behold its living core. My hands naturally come together in reverent worship. I hunger for prasad, the sugary offer to God that comes back to us as a sacrificed threat. My palms need to feel the heat of a hallowed flame, whose blessing I bring to my eyes and forehead. But religion is more than rite and ritual. There is what the rite and ritual stand for. Here too I am a Hindu. The universe makes sense to me through Hindu eyes. There is Brahman, the world soul, the sustaining frame upon which is woven, warp and weft, the cloth of being, with all its decorative elements of space and time. There is Brahman Nirguna, without qualities, which lies beyond understanding, beyond description, beyond approach. With our poor words, we sue a suit for it one. Truth, unity, absolute, ultimate reality, ground of being, and trying to make it fit. But Brahman Nirguna would always burst the seams. We are left speechless. But there is also Brahman Saguna with qualities where the suit fits. Now we call it Shiva, Krishna, Shakti, Ganesha. We can approach it with some understanding. Okay, sorry. I lost my place. No. Oh, here. Okay. Let's see. We can approach it with some understanding. We can discern certain attributes: loving, merciful, frightening, and we feel the gentle pull of relationship. Brahman Saguna is Brahman made manifest to our limited senses. Brahman expressed not only in gods, but in humans, animals, trees, in a handful of earth, for everything has a trace of the might called the soul. The individual soul touches upon the world soul, like a well reaches for the water table. That which sustains the universe beyond thought and language, and that which is at the core of us and struggles for expression, is the same thing. The finite within the infinite, and infinite with the finite. If you ask me how the Brahman and Atman relate precisely, I would say in the same way as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit relate. Mysteriously, but one thing is clear: Atman seeks to realize Brahman to be united with the Absolute, and it travels in his life on a pilgrimage where it is born and dies, and is born again and dies again and again and again until it manages to shed and shits that imprison it here below. The paths to liberation are numerous, but the bank along the way is always the same. The bank of karma, where the liberation account of each of us is credited and debited depending on our actions. This in a holy nutshell is Hinduism, and I have been a Hindu all my life. With its notions in my mind, I see my place in the universe. But we should not cling a plague upon fundamentalists and literalists. I am reminded of a story of Lord Krishna when he was a cowherd. Every night he invites the milkmaids to dance with him in the forest. They come and they dance. The night is dark. The fire in their midst roars and crackles. The beat of the music gets even faster. The girls dance and dance and dance with their sweet lord, who has made himself so abundant as to be in the arms of each and every girl. But the moment the girls become possessive, the moment each one imagines that Krishna is her partner alone, he vanishes. So it is that we should not be jealous with God. I know a woman here in Toronto who is very dear in my heart. She was my foster mother. I call her Auntie G, and she likes that. She is Quebecois. Ooh, sorry. Though she has lived in Toronto over 30 years, her French-speaking mind still slips on occasion on the understanding of English sounds, and so when she first heard of Hare Krishnas, she didn't hear right. She heard hairless Christians. And that is what they were to her for many years. When I corrected her, I told her that in fact she was not so wrong, that Hindus, in their capacity for love, are indeed hairless Christians just as Muslims. In the way they see as God and everything are bearded Hindus and Christians. In their devotion to God are hat-wearing Muslims. Okay, chapter 17. I'll just eat some of my food here. Okay, I'm gonna eat some of these potatoes. My dinner has gone cold. I've already eaten 2 potatoes, or 2 pieces. Some of these potatoes, if you eat them the day after they're cooked, they don't taste right. Anyways, I'm gonna eat this last potato. Oh! How are we doing tonight? Oh, I froze again. I don't know why I keep freezing. Sorry. Anyways. First wonder goes deepest. Wonder after that fits in the impression made by the first. I owe to Hinduism the original landscape of my religious imagination. Those towns and rivers, battlefields and forests, holy mountains and deep seas were God's saints' villains. And ordinary people rub shoulders, and in doing so define who and why we are. I first heard of the tremendous cosmic might of loving kindness in this Hindu land. It was Lord Krishna speaking. I heard him and I followed him, and in his wisdom and perfect love, Lord Krishna led me to meet one man. I was 14 years old and a well-content Hindu on a holiday when I met Jesus Christ. It was not often that Father took time off from the zoo, but one of the times he did, we went to Manar just over in Kerala. Mannar is a small hill station surrounded by some of the highest tea estates in the world. It was early May, and the monsoon hadn't come yet. The plains of Tamil Nadu were beastly hot. We made it to Mannar after a winding 5-hour car ride from Madurai. The coolness was as pleasing as having mint in your mouth. We did the tourist thing. We visited a Tata tea factory. We enjoyed a boat ride on a lake. We toured a cattle breeding center. We fed salt to some Nilgiri taurs, a species of wild goat in a national park. We have some in our zoo. You should come to Pondicherry, said father to some Swiss tourist. Ravi and I went for walks in the tea estates near town. It was all an excuse to keep our lethargy a little busy. By late afternoon, father and mother were as settled in the tea room of our comfortable hotel as two cats sunning themselves at a window. Mother read while father chatted with fellow guests. There were 3 hills within Mannar. They don't bear comparison when the tall hills, mountains, you might call them, that surrounded the town. But I noticed the first morning, as we were having breakfast, that they did stand out in one way. On each stood a god house. The hill on the right across the river from the hotel had a Hindu temple high on its side. The hill in the middle further away held up a mosque, while the hill on the left was crowned with a Christian church. On the 4th day in Mannar, as the afternoon was coming to an end, I stood on the hill on the left, despite attending nominally Christian school. Attending a nominally Christian school. I had not yet been inside a church, and I wasn't about to dare the deed now. I knew very little about the religion. It had a reputation for a few gods and great violence, but good schools. I walked around the church. It was a building unremittingly unrevealing of what is held inside, with thick, featureless walls, pale blue in color, and high, narrow windows impossible to look in through. A fortress. I came upon the rectory. The door was open. I hid around a corner to look upon the scene. To the left of the door was a small board with the words parish priest and assistant priest on it. Next to each was a small sliding block. Both the priest and his assistant were in. The board informed me in gold letters, which I could plainly see. One priest was working in his office, his back turned to the bay windows, while the other was seated on a bench at a round table in the large vestibule that evidently functioned as a room for receiving visitors. He sat facing the door and the windows, a book in his hand, a Bible, I presumed. He read a little, looked up, and read a little more. Looked up again. It was done in a way that was leisurely, yet alert and composed. After some minutes, he closed the book and put it aside. He folded his hands together on the table and sat there, his expression serene, showing neither expectation nor resignation. The vestibule had clean white walls. The table and benches were of dark wood, and the priest was dressed in a white